Hi, and welcome to the Math Essentials podcasts. This is a or additional practice from the section 1.2 in the Mathworks 11 textbook dealing with slope and rate of change again. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the examples from the Build Your Skills section to try to help to clarify some other points. So in this example here, we're looking at a paved road. Now, there is no picture given in your textbook, so what I like to start out doing is drawing a picture. And so a highway is sloped from the center line, and that's to enable water to drain. The high point is 3.75 or 3 3/4 inches. We need to convert that to a decimal simply to make the calculator work a little bit easier. So 3.75 inches. The edge of the road is 9 feet from the center line. So this to this is 9 feet. Now notice I've got inches here and I've got feet here. So I have to convert that so that they're uniform, that they're the same unit. So to do that, I know that there's 12 inches in every foot, so 9 feet is the same as 108 inches. Okay, so this will be 108 inches. Okay, so now I'm asked to find the percent grade of the center line, so that's really just my slope expressed as a percentage. So to find grade, I'm going to take my slope, which is rise over run, and then I'm going to times 100. Okay, so to do that, I have 3.75, and I'm going to divide it by 108. Okay, when I do that, I end up with 0.0374. Now remember, I have to also times it by 100. And so my grade is going to be equal to 3.74%. Okay, so that's question 2. With question 6, we're dealing with a holding tank for water, a reservoir that's 750 meters away. We've got a 0.8 degree slope, so that's an angle to transport the water. The pipe itself is 1.5 meters above the ground, and we're asked to calculate this total distance here. Okay, now I'm given 1.5. I still have to calculate out this. So to do that, I'm going to have to use my tangent formula. Okay, because I have a degree, I have an angle. So remember, the tangent of a line or tangent of an angle is equal to the opposite side of that triangle divided by the adjacent side of that triangle. Okay, so because I have an angle, I don't have to do the inverse. So I need to take on my calculator, I need to find the tangent of 0.8, and that's going to be equal to the opposite, which we don't have, over the adjacent, which we do have. Okay, so first of all, to tackle the tangent of 0.8, remember, you know on your calculator how to do it if you put the number in first and then hit tangent, or if you hit tangent and then the number. Okay, but that amount will come out as a decimal, and you should get 0.01396 being equal to x over 750. Now remember, to solve for x, or my rise, I have to get x by itself. Okay, in order to do that, I take 750 and I times it by 0.1396. Now, an easy thing to do, leave the number on your calculator, okay, because in this case, we're just going to hit the times button and we're going to get 750. Okay, and what we're going to find is that x is equal to 10.47. So that's right here. 10.47 meters. So in order to calculate the total height, I take 10.47 and I add 1.5 and I'm going to get the height above the ground. So total above ground Okay, when I do that, I get 11.97, so I get 12 meters, right? About 12 meters above the ground is my answer. So hopefully that clarifies a couple more points on how to go about calculating out tangents and how to use tangents. And also from the previous question, what really grade is in terms of the slope. Okay, the very last example that I think we should go over is another example that's using the Pythagorean theorem. Remember, the Pythagorean theorem says that a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And remember that c is equal to what we call the hypotenuse. So when would we use this formula? Well, if I wanted to calculate, for example, the length of this ramp, let's say that I know that my truck bed, so I'm loading on my sled onto my truck. I know that my truck bed is about 1 meter from the ground, and I know that it's going to be at a slope of or so many degrees, and that's going to give me about 6 meters of length. And I want to know how long of a board I need in order to do that. Well, to do that, I need to actually apply the Pythagorean theorem. And so what I've done over here is I've begun to do that. And so if we look at this, the a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So when we go ahead and do this, I can go that, or I know that 6 squared plus 1 squared is equal to c squared. And so then I can calculate that. Now on your calculator, you will have a button. Generally speaking, that button looks like this. So on your calculator, if that's the button, you're looking for that. That's squared. So press the number, press that button, and you'll get whatever that number is squared. So 6 squared is 36. 1 squared, and some of them you can do in your head, right? 1 times 1 is 1 is equal to c squared. So 36 and 1 is 37 is equal to c squared. Now remember, we need to find c. We need to find the hypotenuse. So when I have a square, the opposite operation to get rid of the square is a square root. The square root of a square cancels. So what I do on that right side, I have to do on the left side. Now again, on your calculator, you're going to be looking for a button that probably looks like that. And you'll either have to put in the number plus the square root, or sometimes you have to do the reverse and you have to go square root and then the number. Okay, so let's do that right now. Let's take the square root of 37. Okay, and I get 6.08. So in the case of my example here, if I know this angle, or I know my slope that I need in order to get into my truck bed, and I'm given my sides, and I want to calculate the length of that sloped line, that's going to be equal to 6.08. That's my C in this here. Okay, so that is Pythagorean theorem. Okay, and I hope that helps.